Hello, race fans. The NASCAR SEGA Cup Series is back here once again on YouTube as we're getting ready for the United Rentals Works United 500. Now, if you notice that this Phoenix looks a little bit different, it is. This is the Phoenix International Raceway that I use for seasons 2 and 3 of the NASCAR SEGA Cup Series. I would use the newest version of Phoenix, but it's giving me a lot of graphical bugs. I mean, I'm having like non-stop flickerings like every time I try to do a race, and it's constantly crashing my NR. So instead of dealing with that massive headache, I'm just going to a version of Phoenix that I know works and has great racing and better camera angles, let's be honest, because the 2019 version has horrible camera angles. And if you hear any noise in the background, I apologize. That's my AC. It's like 103 degrees here in Texas, and I refuse to sit in a hot room. But anyway, we're here live for our second to last race for the round of 8, and we have Ryan Acosta on the pole in the number 78 for Spire Motorsports. He's still looking to give them a victory before the season is over. It's still unsure if he's going to come back for season 5. But our highest starting chase contender right now is Cody Lamas, who's going to start this race from the 4th position as he sits 5th in standings. But starting right behind him is going to be Tim Beagle. The last time we came to Phoenix, even though it was the 2019 version, he did come down victory lane here. But as I said, this is a different version of Phoenix, and a lot can be changed here. The start-finish line, as you can see back there, it's in its original spot. So there's that to think about. But I still think that the racing here is still going to be phenomenal. Well, race fans, I hope you guys are all ready, and I know that these drivers are ready here. There are some drivers who actually used to race on this version of Phoenix, so hopefully it'll come back to them in memory, as we're just seconds away from those famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Nice service, be there at the end. It's a long race. We just got to stay in contention, no mistakes. That's the big key, no mistakes today. We get up there, we get in the top 10, we ride. That's what we got to do today.
And as the cars are rolling off pit road, here is your starting lineup for the United Rentals Work United 500. Ryan Acosta looking to put Spire Motorsports in victory lane here, hopefully before the season's end here. I don't know if the 78 is going to come back for next season for Spire, but we're going to have to look and see. Maybe a victory here by Ryan Acosta would give them some funding, but the pace car makes that hard left onto pit road, and the green flag is now out here at Phoenix. Ryan Acosta finds himself on the outside, but looking on the inside is Michael Norman in his Wood Brothers number 21 being pushed by Tim Beagle, and Ryan Acosta got a run on the outside, and that will allow him to lead the first lap here today. And oh man, these guys are already racing hard, 3 wide for the lead. Ryan Acosta, Cody Lamas, and Michael Norman. Cody Lamas hasn't been in victory lane since Richmond earlier this season, and I believe that the caution is out. I saw the oh no, it's not. The caution is not out, as Cody Lamas will indeed take the race lead. As I was saying, he has not been in victory lane since the Toyota race back at Richmond, and he would love to go back to victory lane for the second time. If he does, that will punch his ticket to the Final Four, and then only 3 spots will remain. But here comes Michael Norman looking to try to spoil that party. Michael Norman currently sits 30th in standings right now, and he would love to put that number 21 back in victory lane for the second time here. He has not yet won on an oval this season. His first victory came all the way back at Watkins Glen. And here comes another playoff driver being pushed by his good friend Danny Well. That's Tim Figure in the 19. Even though we were at a different configuration the last time we were here, he is listed as the winner the last time we raced here at Phoenix. And oh man, Zachary Fitzwater dives down right in front of the 19 to cut him off. And we still have a heated battle up here between Michael Norman and Cody Lamas. Now Zachary Fitzwater is trying to give the 21 a little bit of a push. And oh no, I hear some screeching. I think we had a crash in the back. And yes, the caution is indeed out. The caution is out, and Cody Lamas looks to try to get a run on the outside, and he does. So he will lead these guys to the caution. But now I have to take a look and see what happened here. And oh no, Kyle Matthews running his peacock colors on his number 77. And oh no, another Spire Motorsports teammate and playoff driver Allison Rain. She has a lot of damage to her Ally Pride number 7. And there's Jonathan Zorlin. He has some right side damage to his 43. And I think there's a little bit of damage to the 48 of Nathan Ormond. And there's some damage to the 22 of Mitchell Collins. And oh man, there's a lot of damage to the front end of the 82 of Chris Dollarton. And I think Seth Cole has a little bit of rear damage to his 24. And there's some damage to the back of the 34 here. That's Charles Sanford. Oh man, it looks like we had a lot of stuff happen in the back straightaway. But as we head to the replays to take a look and see what happened, let's take a look as Cody Lamas will surrender the lead and give it over to Michael Norman. Well, here's having to bring out our first caution of the day. It looks like that Kyle Matthews, he actually gets himself loose, and he gets himself right into Brayson Mitchell, as it causes both the 77 and the 41 to hook each other here towards the turn 2 safer barrier, and it causes the 77 to spin out right towards the camera there. Mitchell Collins actually gives a hit to the 77, which causes him to also spin. And Mitchell Collins, he's just along for the ride at this point as Matthews continues to spin out. Further back, Allison Rain gets hit as she gets herself into the 41. Steven Colon also gets collected. There's a little bit of contact from Jonathan Zorlin onto the back of the 88, and that in turn makes him get into Charles Sanford in the 34. Let's bring it back a little bit. That was the initial contact from Mitchell Collins, as we now take a look at Allison Rain's contact. Allison Rain, she's trying to slow down, but she gets into the back of the 41, which causes her to spin. And she actually came in contact with Sky Commons, but it looks like Commons didn't even get that much damage. Then further back, we see Cole Deaver back there in the 3. Brett Kennenberg was also involved. Chris Dollarton, he was basically stuck with nowhere to go. Seth Cole, the rear damage to his Raptor number 24. Just a chain reaction heading into the dog leg here. As you can see, multiple drivers here involved. But Allison Rain, this is not what she needed to happen. She's going for the playoffs, and if she retires out of the race, that's pretty much going to put her in a must-win situation next week at Homestead. And here we are back at Phoenix as the drivers are starting to line up double file. Allison Rain is continuing to stay in, hoping for another caution and get herself some positions. We only have two drivers who are now out of the race. They are Stephen Colin and Chris Darlington. Headed back up to the front, our leader after caution is Michael Norman. These guys did not come down pit road. Second is Zachary Fitzwater. Third is Ryan Acosta, as now they're lining up double file. Fourth is Tim Fiegel. Fifth is Danny Wells. Sixth, Simon Oscon. Seventh is Dougie Shears, our points leader. Eighth is Dylan Poteet. Ninth is Cole Daly. And rounding out the top 10 is Dylan Young. Pace car makes that hard left onto pit road. Michael Norman, he may have some work to do. And I don't know if Cody Lama's coming down pit road. May have been strategy for later on in the race. But the green flag is now back out. Zachary Fitzwater trying to do what he can to get a run on the outside. Can't quite do it yet. And it looks like that Michael Norman has in fact cleared the number 4. But now we see Ryan Acosta. He's trying to bounce back to get his lead back. As we now go to the spectators camera, as we look at all these drivers coming around turns 1 and 2. Michael Norman is a man on a mission right now. Like I said, he's trying to turn his season around here to try to get a victory. Michael Norman, he is the season 3 champion, and he actually did it without winning a race. But Michael Norman, he's trying to do what he can to run away with that lead as Fitzwater sells himself in second place. And now we see that Ryan Acosta, he's under fire from Danny Wells as it looks like Wells is trying to make it 3 wide for second place. Can't quite do it yet as we see a gaggle of teammates trying to come up here. Tim Fiegel is up here stuck on the high side in 5th. And here comes his teammate Cole Daly trying to push another fellow Toyota Dougie Shears up here. And now we see the Dylan and Dylan show on the outside. This is for the top 10, but it's about to be taken by Poteet's teammate, James McLeod. James McLeod, who raced himself into the round of 8. He wants to try to race himself into the final 4 now, but there's still plenty of racing to go. We just barely hit lap 14 now. As we see Tim Fiegel trying to get under Danny Wells for position as the top 4, they're pretty much gone single file right now. As Wells, he sits himself in the 4th position right now. Headed back to the front, it's still all about Michael Norman. And oh man, what happened there? It looks like Michael Norman got a little bit loose there. He just lost a ton of speed there, and he nearly got clobbered by the 4th of Zachary Fitzwater. I don't know what happened there, but if there was a race where Michael Norman doesn't need any problems, it's this one. So far, I believe he's led the most laps so far ever since Cody Lama surrendered the lead. Speaking of Cody, where is he? And Cody, he currently sits all the way back in the 26th position, so he found himself mid-pack. So I don't know if pitting that early was a good strategy for the 11 car. Right now, he's going to have a bumper full of last week's winner, Steven Gonzalez. Cody better not hope he finds trouble back there as we will head back to the front. Michael Norman still trying to do what he can on the outside, but Zachary Fitzwater, now he's looking for the now he's looking to try to get a run on the inside now. And Fitzwater, he's trying to get that inside run, but he doesn't have the help to pull it off. Oh, well, he does now. Acosta, he just dove down to the inside to help out the 4. And he's going to leave Michael Norman high to dry. And that's going to allow the 4 to clear the 21. So, new leader Zachary Fitzwater as he will lead a lap here. Acosta sits by himself in 3rd place as we're having a heated battle for 4th place between playoff drivers. Tim Fiegel trying to sweep Phoenix this year, and he's trying to duke it out with the points leader, Dougie Shears. Dougie Shears' only victory this season came all the way back at Talladega earlier, but he won that race under caution. He wants to try to win a race under the green flag as we're headed back to the front. It looks like Michael Norman, he's trying to answer back to try to get his lead back once again from Zachary Fitzwater. Will Acosta help the 21 over the 21 clear the 4? And it looks like Michael Norman cleared the 4 on his own. And oh man, they're catching up on a slow car. That's Seth Cole. Seth Cole, who got eliminated after the round of 12, he may be a lap traffic in all of this, but the more that these guys swap positions, they're gonna catch that 24 eventually. As we head back to the front, as we're having yet another battle for the lead, Fitzwater and Michael Norman, these two are just duking it out every other lap. Heading further back, as we now see that Cole Daly, he's in front of James McLeod and Dylan Young here, as they're trying to race themselves into the top 5. He's trying to lend a little bit of assistance to his teammate, but from where they are right now, the only thing he can do is try to pass him unless Tim Fiegel dives down in front of the 18, which I don't think he can do right now because Danny Wells, he's trying to look under the 19. Can't quite do it yet though. And Michael Norman, he still hangs on to the lead over Zachary Fitzwater. Dougie Shears, he got himself around Ron Acosta for the 3rd position. He's trying to make his points lead even bigger. Dougie Shears has been in the NASCAR SEGA Cup ever since the beginning in Season 1. His very first victory was the Season 1 Budweiser Shootout, and he literally didn't get his first legit points victory until the Talladega race all the way in Season 4. Headed back to the front, once again, Zachary Fitzwater takes the lead away from Michael Norman, but the more that these guys duke it out and push each other, they're catching Seth Cole. But now the question is Seth Cole going to be a hindrance to these guys, or will he go to the outside and get out of their way? I don't know, but Seth Cole, he better make a decision pretty fast. And oh man, the leaders, they suddenly just dove down to the inside. Oh man, they may be coming down pit road for green flag pit stops, and they are. Zachary Fitzwater and Michael Norman come down pit road, and that is going to give the lead over to Dougie Shears. Dougie Shears leads a lap, and that will be one extra bonus point to increase his points lead even more. But Dougie Shears, he will dive down to the inside, as well as Tim Fiegel. They may be coming down as well. And yes, they are. Green flag pit stops are still happening, and that's going to give the lead over to James McLeod now. James McLeod, he now takes the lead away, but now he has Cole Daly right behind him. Now we see Penske teammates running third and fourth, Danny Wells and Dylan Young, and it looks like that the rest of the field are going to be coming down pit road. And oh man, this may have been where pitting earlier may have benefited the 11, as he will now take the race lead. And I do believe he just put Nathan Orman another lap down. But oh man, but now the question is, where is everyone else gonna end up? Cody Lamas, he is better on tires and fuel over the rest of the field, because he did come down under that first caution. Both him and a few other drivers did. But Cody Lamas right now, he has a huge lead right now, and I'm trying to see who's in second place. The ticker says that the second place car is actually Nathan Hudson in the 6th. Running the Castrol GTX colors, he would love to get a decent victory here today here at Phoenix. Headed back up to the front, still all about Cody Lamas. I don't know when Cody is going to come down. And oh man, there are only 4 cars on the lead lap. We do not need a caution right now, because if the caution comes out, and oh man, it looks like someone came in contact with a safety barrier earlier, but the caution is not out. I have no idea what happened there with someone. I don't see anyone with right side damage. There's a little bit of right side damage to the 17 of RJ Bishop. It may have been the 17, and there's a little bit of front end damage to the 91 of Simon Oscon, but he may have gotten that during the green flag pit stops. I'm not sure. It looks like this is going to be another fuel strategy race, as it looks like that the lap traffic is slowly trying to get a little bit faster than Cody Lamas. So Cody, he might have to pit soon. And oh man, there he is. Cody Lamas, he's making an indication for pit road. So he is a few laps better than everyone else, but he is coming down. And I believe that's going to give the lead over to Nathan Hudson in the 6th if he stays out. Where is Nathan Hudson? And oh no, he was actually already on pit road, but now we're gonna have to take a look at the 11, as most of the field, they're trying to unlap themselves right now. But we're also gonna have to keep an eye on, I believe, Dougie Shears. As right now, Dougie Shears, he's right in front of Zachary Fitzwater. This may be the battle for the lead right here. And indeed it is. Dougie Shears has gotten around Cody Lamas, and he will retake the race lead. Zachary Fitzwater now sits 2nd place. 3rd now is Ron Acosta. 4th now is Cole Daly, but he may not have it for long, because here comes Michael Norma on the inside, and look who just raced himself into the top 10. Matt McIntyre in the number 27, he's trying to use, I believe he was also one of the drivers who came down at the same time Cody Lamas did. And last week's winner, Steven Gonzalez, he's also up here. I believe he currently sits in the 9th position. And rounding out the top 10 right now is going to be Brandon Crasta in the 23. As the ticker indeed updates, that is indeed the case. We now see Alex Ferranti. He's being pushed by Dylan Young and James McLeod. And oh no, they just caught up to Kyle Matthews, who was a slow car, and he is holding up both of the Joe Gibbs Racing teammates. He's holding up Cole Daly and Tim Fiegel. And oh man, they just now got around him, and oh man. And I do believe, okay, well, it looks like the leaders got around him no problem, but Dougie Shears, he's going to try to run away with that lead as the laps are indeed winding down. Fitzwater still sits 2nd, and I do believe that these guys, they're going to have to come down pit road at least one more time. Fitzwater trying to do what he can to catch up to that 83. Let's ride on board with the number 4. Zachary Fitzwater trying to do whatever he can to chase that number 83 down. If Dougie Shears wins this race, he will punch his ticket into the Final 4 race at St. Joltis. But the one driver that may be beneficial for this and on a different pit strategy is Cody Lamas. He is also in the playoffs, and he is looking to try to do what he can to try to win this race as well. Both Dougie Shears and Cody Lamas are looking to get their 2nd wins of the season. But right now, Fitzwater doesn't have anything for that 83 right now, as the track is pretty much single file right now. And it looks like that Tim Fiegel is trying to get around fellow playoff driver and teammate Jessica Shelton. And speaking of Jessica Shelton, we haven't even talked about her all day. Jessica Shelton, she actually sits 2nd in standings right now, and a top 10 finish here would make her case better to try to get into the Final 4. Shelton trying to do what she can to get up to her teammate to try to add another position, but the laps are indeed winding down. We're about to hit lap 40, and Dougie Shears still not making an indication for pit road yet, as we just saw Seth Cole come down pit road. So is that a sign of anything to come? I'm not sure. We're gonna have to take a look and see where Cody is. And Cody Lamas, he currently sits 19th right now. So if the leaders do come down, it'll be no shocker that he will take the lead back. As right now, Cody Lamas, he sits behind William Brock. And William Brock, he started this race second to last. And here he is trying to get himself into the top 15. That's good driving by the 42 from Sega Motorsports. Heading back up through the field, we now see that Seth Cole has got himself back on track. As we're now having a battle between Cole Daly and Michael Norman. That's for the 4th position. And oh man, it looks like that Ryan Acosta's trying to catch up to Zachary Fitzwater for 2nd. But if they battle it out for 2nd place, that's gonna allow Dougie Shears to get away. Next time by, we're gonna have 5 laps to go. A lot can happen in 5 laps, and it looks like Ryan Acosta, he's trying to get around Zachary Fitzwater for 2nd. Can't quite do it yet though. But if they want to try to do anything to catch that 83, time is running out. You know, man, they're catching up on another slow car. That's Cole Deaver in the 3. You know, man, they're actually catching up on a few slow drivers. The other being Jonathan Zorlin in the 43. But the laps R&D winding down. I don't know if Dougie Shears is going to try to do what he can to stretch it. And he better hope that he can make it the rest of the way. We have 3.5 laps to go now, and I don't think Shears is making an indication for pit road just yet. No, he's not. The laps are indeed winding down. I don't know if anyone has anything for that 83 car, but now the 83, he's going to be stuck behind the 3 and the 43. Oh man, where is he going to go? This is not what he needs to happen right now. He already got around the inside of Jonathan Zorlin now. Now he needs the 43 to hold up the 4 and the 78. This time by, we're going to have 2 laps to go. Dougie Shears is getting around Cole Deaver now. But now we see Fitzwater and Acosta getting around the slow 43 car. But it may be too little too late. Now they have to get around the slow Cole Deaver. And right now with the lap car sitting between 1st and 2nd, we're going to be coming to the white flag. The white flag is now waving here at Phoenix. White flag is now waving. Dougie Shears, he heads through turns 1 and 2 for the final time. No lap traffic ahead of him. This is pretty much going to be smooth sailing for the number 83. Coming out of turns 3 and 4 for the final time to capture his second win of the season. Dougie Shears, with the win here at Phoenix, he will punch his ticket into the Final 4. Sonico Fueling Victories congratulates Dougie Shears for winning the United Rentals Workers United 500. We have our first driver confirmed for the Zenjoltis Final 4 for the NASCAR SEGA Cup Series Championship, and it is Dougie Shears. As for United, I'll just call it Unit Ren 500. Race number 34, and this race is in the books. Playoff driver Dougie Shears increases his points lead even further as he will pretty much race himself into the Final 4, which I'm going to have to update the points. I'm going to have to give him 5,000 points because he's already locked in. So there's going to be a bit of a headache there. But yes, Dougie Shears, he brings it home for Red Bull Racing as they will have their driver, Second Cup Series veteran Dougie Shears going for the championship. Zachary Fitzwater finishes runner-up in 2nd place. Ryan Acosta ends up 3rd. Michael Norman, a good run for the 21 team, ending up in 4th place. Jessica Shelton, she currently sits second in place, and was the second highest finishing playoff driver. So it looks like that she's on a mission to try to also get into Zen Joltis. Teammate and fellow playoff driver Tim Fiegel settles himself in sixth position, just barely missing out on a top 5. Matt McIntyre, good run for the 2017. They end up 7th. Cole Daly ends up 8th. Last week's winner Steven Gonzalez races through deep in the field to end up 9th. And Alex Ferranti, we didn't even talk about him all race long, and he finds himself into the top 10. Then we have Dylan Young, James McLeod, Brandon Krasta, Levi McIntyre, and Christina Bell rounds out the top 15. Then we have Joshua Mudd, Jake Rogers, Cody Lamas. Tried to do some pit strategy, and he led for a few laps, but with the leaders not coming back down pit road, he'll have to settle for an 18th place finish. Danny Wells ends up 19th, and rounding out the top 20 was William Brock. Okay, let's see. We have James Qualls, Dylan Pote, Alex Drayton, RJ Bishop, and Dustin Stoller right out the top 25. Then we have Joshua Osborne, Samad Ozkan, Aaron Macklin, Sky Commons, and Allison Rain rounds out the top 30. Allison Rain is pretty much going to be in a must-win situation next week when we head to Homestead. Nathan Hudson, Brayson Mitchell, Mitchell Collins, Charles Sanford, and Brett Kennenberg end up with a top 35. And from 36 on down to 40th, we have lap drivers Cole Deaver, Nathan Orman, Jonathan Zorland, Seth Cole, and Kyle Matthews. And then 41st and 42nd, we have Chris Darlington and Stephen Colin, the only drivers who retire out of this race. Well, race fans, that does it here for Phoenix. I hope you guys were satisfied with this version of Phoenix. I couldn't go to the 2019 one because of all the issues it gave me. But next week, we're going to be racing under the lights for the final race of the round of 8, taking place at Homestead-Miami Speedway. What kind of racing will we see there? You're going to have to stay tuned and find out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Congratulations one last time to Dougie Shears for winning the United Rentals Work United 500. And we will see you at Homestead.
This copyrighted upload may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized consent of TrentTheHedgie. The NASCAR SEGA Cup Series would like to thank all of the fans for their support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.